Welcome to Beth's Happy Home. We're seeing all kinds of turmoil in the world right now, and as I've been watching the news, seeing how people are trying to feed refugees and feed themselves in other parts of the world, it causes me to think about what is the best thing that you can store. And so as I looked at it and tried to analyze it, because there are a lot of delicious foods that can be stored long term, I hit on legumes as being the best thing that you can possibly store if you're only going to have access to one thing. It'd be best if you had access to legumes and other things too. But then other things like quinoa and wheat and other grains for the basis of your food storage. But as I looked at the legumes, I started to think about, okay, which one is going to be the best of all of those? Because all of them have properties that are really desirable. So I narrowed it down to 3 possibilities for the ultimate best food to store. And they came down to lentils, chickpeas, and split peas. And the reason that I quickly eliminated split peas is that for the purpose of calorie density, these are much lower in calorie density, so they're maybe superior if you're trying to lose weight because they're very high in fiber and they have lots of nutrition as well as protein, but they don't have as many calories. They're lower in carbohydrates. So if you're diabetic, that might be perfect, but we're going to put those aside as less desirable. So that leaves us with chickpeas and lentils. Now, they aren't identical nutritionally, but they're very similar to each other as far as one has a little more of one thing than the other. But lentils get the nod because they're higher in protein than the chickpeas are. Chickpeas are higher in carbohydrate than the lentils. But I concluded that lentils were superior for emergency type situations for a simple reason, and that is they're smaller. They take much less energy to cook them to an edible state than chickpeas do. These take about 45 minutes. If I haven't soaked them, these take about 45 minutes in my electric pressure cooker, whereas I can simmer these down to a soup consistency in about 15 minutes on the stovetop. I usually put them the same rice setting if I'm cooking them in an electric pressure cooker, and that's only 11 minutes in my electric pressure cooker. So these get the nod just for using less energy, and both of them are very nutrient dense. So store both of them if you're not worried about the use of energy, but at least start by storing as many lentils as you can, because they're going to give you the most bang for your buck if you're in an emergency situation where your food supply is challenged. Hope you think about this seriously, get yourself prepared so that you don't have to be afraid of what the future holds. Thanks for watching.